And Barack Obama was criticized for it by who? The political left.
Agreed.
Right.
So my point is not to say again that there's no violence on the right, and I think the institutional argument is actually a good one. However, my view largely is when you look at Occupy Wall Street, for which I was there and I watched police instigate fights, or when
this guy in the green in the back is dying. Look at him.
When you look at Occupy Wall Street, for which I was there and I watched police instigate fights, or when I was on the ground during the protests on West Florissant Avenue, and I saw police throw a flashbang grenade at protesters who were not doing anything violent. The issue is these police are under Democrat administration still, where they're
oh my God, dude. Oh my God.
Are often appointed by Democrat politicians. So again, I understand the left and progressives.
That to me is also a little disingenuous because
how do you even argue against that point? I'm really like, guys, the sickness is starting to hit me again because I've been sitting up for too long. So my body's like, you need to lay down. But like, how do you even argue against something so disingenuous? Well, the police are actually left wing because there are Democratic cities. It's like, you're fucking with me, right? Like you're not actually trying to, like you're just fucking with me, right? There's no way you're trying to sit here and tell me the police are woke. And if this was a right-wing city, they wouldn't have tear gassed you. That's what you're trying to tell me, right? That's not what you're trying to tell me, right? Like it's so far from reality. I have no words. I have no words.
It's not as though the police, as a matter of its institution, is a left-wing institution.
No, it's in fact,
usually the police are protecting and are on the other side of left-wing protesters.
If you want to make the argument that ICE under Trump, I'll make the argument of police under the Democrats.
Sir, well, I don't know. Well,
which is it? Does law enforcement defer to their politicians or not?
It depends. Because ICE is an executive agency, they do.
And the police department in Minneapolis is under the Democrats, yes.
Right, but
and we all agree that there's problems there.
But they're criticized and often on the other end of left-wing protesters. So, for instance, the protests against ICE here in Los Angeles, it's usually against left-wing. So, what is it? Left-on-left violence? Is that what you're claiming?
Sometimes, yes, absolutely.
You think police protesting against or committing violence against left-wing protesters? It's left-on-left violence, really?
Yes.
I think that's
left-wing violence is out of control. All the left-on-left violence. Who believes this? I bet you any cop that was watching this would be like, hey, don't call me no damn liberal. I ain't no damn liberal, damn you, Tim Pool. You just lost a subscriber. I used to like your show before you called me a leftist. I don't appreciate that.
Ridiculous and absurd.
The police who live in these cities tend to be more moderate, but they're not hard conservatives.
But is the institution policing as an institution
particularly
a left-wing institution?
In New York, well, I define a left-wing institution.
Exactly.
What I would say is Democrat politicians are the ones appointing these police chiefs and these administrations who are enacting these policies.
But are they?
So when you're voting for someone into office, this is not conservatives doing it. It's not mainstream right-wingers putting in police that beat protesters.
But who politically supports the police as a matter of their rhetoric and ideology?
Indeed,
the right
or doesn't live in these places.
Yeah, but
nor do they appoint these people.
Sure, but
don't tell me that ICE under Donald Trump, but not police under Democratic politicians.
Hold on. The left doesn't.
Denims, no cops are watching this or too busy beating their wives. Okay, just because it's true doesn't mean you should say it.
Also doesn't appoint protesters who commit random acts of violence against property.
That's not my argument.
I know, but earlier you were making the case that it's the ideology that motivates what these rioters are doing, and that's the reason why the left is ultimately responsible.
What I would say is the underlying ideology is overlapping with the Democratic Party.
Sure, and so what I'm saying is that if you want to be consistent, the underlying ideology that supports the police and as a matter of institution, and when the police are cracking down on left-wing protesters, that's overwhelmingly on the side of conservatives.
Except they're not in power in these places, and you're applying a locality to the nation, which doesn't make sense.
They may not be like technically
the police are not motivated by the Republican Party to go out under a Democratic mayor to arrest.
No, dude, stop. The
problem is that the police is still, as a matter of institution, is more of a right-wing institution than a left-wing.
Certainly, even
police forces lean Republican, but partisan politics don't greatly influence officers' actions. Despite the political imbalance, research found very little evidence that Republican and Democratic officers behave differently in similar on-the-job situations. It's almost like they're cops first. While political affiliation appears to have limited impact on an officer's behavior, the study reaffirmed previous findings that race and ethnicity are significant factors influencing how officers conduct their duties. The question of how political beliefs might shape policing has become increasingly important. Surveys consistently show Republicans express much higher levels of trust in the police, are less likely to believe that police treat different groups unfairly. Shocking. In fact, political party identification is a stronger predicator of someone's views on policing than even their race or general political ideology. That's talking about how voters feel, or like Americans feel about cops, I believe. So not only are police generally, they tend to be more conservative than the people around them in the cities that they're in. Shocking. But also their political alignment is not relevant because they still act like fucking cops. All right. Trying to even pretend for a moment that the cops are left wing is just like so incredibly stupid. I just don't have any fucking words.
On the other side of,
but the point is,
of
a police officer who
protesters.
goes out in New York and arrests a protester does so at the behest of a Democratic politician.
I don't think.
Here, check this out. Study's initial findings confirm that on average, police forces are more Republican than the general population in their jurisdiction. Across the 99 agencies studied, about 32% of officers were estimated to be Republican, compared to only 14% of voting-age civilians in those same areas. Isn't that shocking? Not what I meant to click on.
It's true.
You've been voted out by the majority. All right, if you'd like to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, young man? Listen.
Oh, yeah. I haven't been young for a minute.
Now, slow down with that. Listen,
Oh,
I
all
think
right.
it's really quick. The I condemn is really cheap cop-out. That's not going to work.
It's not an argument.
Because the people around us are not low IQ, like your average viewer. It's important to recognize.
Did he just say it's not an argument? Did he just say that's not an argument? He didn't even finish his point. What?
Make an argument.
So I'm about to.
You don't
he's working on it, bitch. Like, calm down. Hello?
have one? Is that it?
I'm
If you
about
want to
to.
be insults, we can go for insults and
I'm about to.
We can rap.
I'm about to.
That's
Wanna
not an insult. He's saying oh my God. Sorry. Let me let you guys watch the play-by-play again.
What's up, young man? Listen.
Oh, yeah. I haven't been young for a minute.
Now, slow down with that. Listen,
Oh,
I
all
think
right.
it's
Sorry, I just noticed that he went in for the handshake. I didn't even notice that because I was reading chat and I was only listening. That's so funny. He's so butthurt that he didn't want to shake his fucking nasty beanie hand.
It's really quick. The I condemn is really cheap cop-out. That's not going to work.
It's not an argument.
Because the people around
He's working on him being like, it's not an argument. Excuse me, indeed. It's not an argument. It's actually not an argument. He didn't make his argument yet. He said, don't sit here and tell me I condemn, because that doesn't work when you have people that can actually like fact check and do full play-by-plays.
us are not low IQ, like your average viewer. It's important to recognize.
Average viewer is funny.
An argument?
So I'm about to.
You don't have one? Is that it? If you
Oh my God, he's so hurt. You don't have an argument. Oh, you want to shake my hand? It's probably because you don't have an argument.
want to be insults, we can go for insults and
I'm
just...
He
about
didn't insult you. He said, don't sit here and tell me I condemn, because saying I condemn is cheap and it's not valuable. That's not insulting him. Insulting him would be calling him, it's not good there.
We can rap.
I'm about to.
You want to
We
rap?
could rap. Dude, stop. Nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to see that.
My time. So it's important to recognize that simply I condemn is not sufficient when the Republican Party has created a permission structure for individuals to go out and do violence
Like what?
against, I'm about to tell you, with
go.
impunity. Immigration and Customs.
This guy's already talking really fast, so him interrupting him to pretend like he's owning him or something is so cringy. He's saying Republicans saying I condemn is not useful when they've created the permission structure to conduct this. Oh yeah, like what? Well, that was my next sentence. Wow. The square goes in the square hole.
Enforcement is a good example. The Trump administration, they
Through an
violated,
electoral process.
they've lost in the courts 10,000 times, right?
That's not true.
It is true. Yeah, they
The most current published count is at least 16,850 rulings against the Trump administration's ICE mandatory detention policy out of at least 19,400 federal district court rulings from July 7th, 2025 to August 4th, 2026. The Trump administration has really taken my advice, and they're like, can't end on a loss. Can't end on a loss. Let's go. Let's just see the champs. Can't end on a loss. Let's go.
lost 10,000
I'm
times
sure it
in
would
the
be
last
like
year.
10,003.
They murdered numerous American citizens. And guess what happened to the individuals that carried out those killings? What happened to them?
What happened to him?
Have they been prosecuted? Any investigations? Do you know?
I believe they have not.
Why? It's almost as if when you commit violence,
You're wrong.
You're going to.
Sorry, ow, I laughed so hard it hurt my sinuses. like vibrated in my skull in a way that hurt. Ow. I laughed too heartily. Ow. Well, you're wrong. No, he's not. It's just fact check. Because Politico describes the figure as at least, it is a tracker total rather than a final exact number. It covers this specific ICE detention policy, not every ICE or Border Patrol court case.
To be protected. That's what's going on. That's why Kristi Noem went out and said that Alex Preddy was a domestic terrorist. That's why Stephen Miller said the same thing. And everybody in the entire Republican Party apparatus is echoing those talking points. Because whenever there's violence, they don't condemn it. They condone it, they congratulate it, and they pardon it.
Law enforcement, duly elected by a population that voted in plurality for ICE to go out and engage in these
Kill American
behaviors.
citizens?
Which sometimes, yes, absolutely. And
Sometimes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely, we should kill Americans. We should especially kill you, who's making me look like an idiot. Why do you want to shake my hand? My hand is clean. I promise. I wash my hand all the time.
ICE to kill American citizens, really?
yes. Do you?
The average Republican, I don't think they're that
Who
crazy.
said the average Republican would vote? But do you not believe that there are people in this country that would vote for ICE to harm people? Is that
Is this your argument?
Do you believe
This is terrible.
Okay, just give me a second. Dude, this is killer. He's literally looking at him
would
like...
vote for ICE to harm people? Is that your?
Is this your argument?
Do you believe?
He's literally looking at him like, there's no way you're this stupid. That guy's gonna kill me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh God. Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Do you believe?
This is terrible. Terrible.
So you think not a
so
single
bad.
person in this country wants to harm
What's
illegal
the
immigrants?
relevance? We're talking about the fact that there is a top-down approach by Republicans like Donald Trump.
Can I ask you the question
to
again?
justify-
Can you answer?
Holy shit. Oh no. Oh my God. Oh my God, this guy's gonna kill me.
murder
Can you answer the
and
question?
allow it to happen, foment violence in this
Can you-
country.
can you answer
and
the
you're running
question?
cover for it
Can
as
you?
a
Can you?
moderate.
Actually, you just did.
No, I didn't.
See, I'm thinking.
Actually, you're doing it. No, you. What? That doesn't even make any sense. That literally, in this context, it literally doesn't make any sense. He said, you're running cover for this current administration fomenting violence. And then you said, actually, you're doing that. That doesn't even make any sense. That sentence doesn't make any sense. How would that make any sense? Maybe if this guy had said like, and you're sitting here trying to abstract, you're trying to, my fucking sick brain, distract from the fact that this argument is about this or something. Maybe it would make sense there to say no you, but that doesn't even make sense to say no you here.
ICE violence. You're saying that people vote for it or whatever.
You don't think that there are white supremacists voting for ICE to go and harm migrants?
Are you saying that white supremacists voted for Donald Trump so they could kill migrants?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good.
Indeed. Wait, so what did you just self-own? Great point, Tim. Isn't it interesting that the white supremacists vote for Trump? You know, the party that does violence, the group that does violence. Indeed.
To know that white supremacists make up part of the Republican Party and Donald Trump's doing their bidding.
Yes,
Congratulations.
I certainly believe they do.
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh my. Sorry, I've interrupted it so much. Please let me let the cinema play out on its own. I feel like I want it to play out on its
Voted
own.
in plurality for ICE to go out and engage in these
Kill American
behaviors.
citizens?
Which sometimes, yes, absolutely. And
Oh, they voted for ICE to kill American citizens, really?
yes.
The average Republican, I don't think they're that crazy.
Who said the average Republican would vote? But do you not believe that there are people in this country that would vote for ICE to harm people? Is that your?
Is this your argument?
Do you believe?
This is terrible, Tim.
So you think not a
so
single
bad.
person in this country wants to harm
What's
illegal
the
immigrants?
relevance? We're talking about the fact that there is a top-down approach by Republicans like Donald Trump.
Can I ask you the question
to
again?
justify
Can you answer?
murder
Can you answer the
and
question?
allow it to happen, foment violence in this
Can you?
country?
Can you answer
and
the
you're running
question?
cover for it
Can
as
you?
a
Can you?
moderate.
Actually, you just did.
No, I didn't.
See,
I actually
I'm
condemn
pointing out.
ICE violence. You're saying that people vote for it or whatever.
You don't think that there are white supremacists voting for ICE to go and harm migrants?
Are you saying that white supremacists voted?
Dude, this is when he knew he got his ass. The moment that the words left Tim Pool's mouth where he said, do you think white supremacists don't vote for Trump? He was like, oh, I mean, if you're going to walk into it, go for it.
For Donald Trump so they could kill migrants?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good to know that white supremacists make up part of the Republican Party and Donald Trump's doing their bidding.
Yes,
Congratulations.
I certainly believe they do.
Okay.
The initial claim that I'm making is that there is absolutely violence on the right. I already agree with one of the previous debaters that there's
it's more significant.
institutional violence from the right as well. The best argument against my claim actually is that the right, when they get levers of power, will use law enforcement as their vehicle for the violence that they want to engage in. Those things are all fair. My point is that we are not
That's
seeing...
a nice, long, drawn-out concession. Thank you for...
But it's not a
conceding.
concession because maybe we agree.
Oh, okay.
See, I think...
Wait, didn't you say the...
What do you mean we agree? Your position is not the same as his. Did you forget what Jubilee? What did you forget what show you were on? You can't agree with him. He's on the other side, dumbass. Oh my God.
Political left commits more violence than modern political right. So now you're saying you
Just
agree with me?
because there are riots coming from the left does not mean they're morally right or wrong, or does not mean the right is better or worse. This is a statement about volume of violence that we see and a meaningful issue to a voter as to what is the underlying motivation that we see pushing violence in this country. So when you have ICE going out and engaging in these actions...
This is like a Clarence Thomas level of interpretation with that prompt. That is not what you're saying.
I don't know why you're trying so hard to disagree when we actually have common ground.
Why are you trying so hard to disagree? Did he forget what show he's on? The show is called Surrounded, where you have people that disagree. Wrong show, dumbass. Hello? He was like, you could tell the moment where Tim Pool realized, oh fuck, this isn't my usual show. Because this is what Tim Pool does on his broadcast. The moment he realizes someone is smarter than him, or is more capable of debating, or is more well-read or well-studied, or all of the above, he quickly tries to reframe it as, well, we actually agree, because he realizes I can't fight this guy because he knows more than me and he can argue better than I can. So let me just convince the audience that this guy, the guy who's coming off really smart, has actually been agreeing with me the whole time because I'm really smart and all my positions are correct. And that's why he would disagree. That's why he would agree with me. But he forgot that he's not on his show. He's not on the Tim Pool show anymore. He's on Jubilee Surrounded, where people disagree with you. Why are you trying so hard to disagree with me right now? It's a very lazy, cheap strategy that works with like a really dumb audience, like Tim Pool's audience. And it is a really sneaky strategy to use in like real life, in real circumstances with real people. If you realize and I'm sure many of you guys have probably done this unintentionally or without realizing, just because you have some level of emotional intelligence, where if you're having a conversation with someone and you realize the conversation's kind of going sour, or you're at like a party or something, you're talking to a bunch of people and like there's some like weird heat that you feel, you'll quickly try to like diffuse the situation by saying, no, we agree. No, I agree with you, because you don't want it to escalate because you realize, oh, bad things are about to happen. So either like you want to bail out of a conversation or you want to use someone. This is the way that Tim Pool does it. He does it to signify to his audience he is also intelligent, and that's why that's the only reason he would ever bring someone on who sounds smarter than him. It's because they actually agreed with him the whole time.
We are out of time. Thank you.
He's so mad. Oh my God.
Common ground.
Pause. We are out of time.
Oh my God, he's so mad. I'm so sorry for coughing so loudly. He's so fucking mad, dude. If you took off his beanie, it would be like a loud whistling noise. It'd be red as fuck and it would be steaming. It would be like, I don't know if the microphone picked up that particular sound that I was making, but it's supposed to sound like a steam machine or whatever.
Thank you.
Look at him. Cock shame. Look at this. Look at this. Wait.
Ground.
Pause. We are out of time.
Look at this. Cock facing the world. Cock shame. Tim. I'll pull up the diagram for those who are unfamiliar with the term. Here it is. Cock confidence versus cock shame. Notice the hands to the side of the body, allowing the cock to be free. Notice the hands in front of the cock, instinctively due to his shame, because of the lack of cock confidence, also known as cockfidence. It's tough. It's tough.
Thank you.
Nicotine, the ultimate biohacker secret. Go to Addictive.
No.
My next surrounded claim is that the Democratic Party has embraced authoritarianism.
If you'd like to be the first.
Why did he pick such indefense? Okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys. There are some positions on the right that are tricky to defend against, right? So for example, I think like pro-choice positions are difficult because sometimes you have to bite the bullet and say, and I don't remember if it was during Sam Cedars' debate or who's, oh no, it was, I watched some of it on my own. Dean Withers' debate with like all those MAGA women, where unfortunately if you're not going to convince someone that life doesn't begin at conception, you have to bite the bullet that I don't care if you think, or if it even is murder to commit abortion or to do an abortion or to get an abortion. I think people's bodily autonomy is more important. This is a situation of lesser evils. And I'm sorry, the human being that is alive today is more important than the potential fetus the potential child from that fetus. So I don't really care if you think it's murder, or even if it is murder, this people's bodily autonomy will always come first in my book. And if that means 1,000 murders a day, then 1,000 murders a day it must be. So like there are some positions that I think are like tricky in that way. That's like the right-wing positions that are tricky in that way. But like these are not good positions. He like picked positions that are not, like, they're wrong. Some positions are right and wrong, and some positions are like moral disagreements. These are just wrong. Like, I don't even understand.
First debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
That was fast. Nice to meet you. Let's start off not by, oh God, don't make me defend Republicans, but let's go.
All right, let's talk about authoritarianism.
Yeah.
What does an authoritarian government do?
So it's typically, and particularly in my claim, it's a reference to suppression of dissent, suppression of speech, control of voting, or manipulation of voting for the power, let's just call it control by a particular group of politically or...
Let's take those claims one at a time.
Yeah.
First, on suppression of speech.
Indeed.
Just a few hours ago today, Trump subpoenaed reporters for trying to report accurate information on the war in Iran.
Wow,
he said,
that's terrible.
No, that can't happen.
Awful.
That's way more authoritarian than what we're seeing on the left here.
Well, I mean, it's hard to quantify what is more or less authoritarian, but certainly bad when President Trump is trying to stifle speech.
Wait, can you give any example of Biden doing anything even comparable to that?
I can. We can start with Alex Berenson, who is currently in a lawsuit because the Biden administration personally went to social media platforms using his name to be suspended for his reporting on COVID vaccination and mandates.
Okay. At a top level, though, who's doing the majority of the, actual suppression of speech here?
I don't really have good words for the Republican Party, to be honest. My issue...
It's so sad that Tim Pool has decided to take this pathetic, Weasley little,
oh, I'm not a rightoid. I swear I'm not on the right. I swear. Don't make me defend the right. I'm a centrist.
And then do nothing but defend the right. It's such a cucked position to be in. It's so cringy.
With this debate is in fact what we're seeing right now is that I'll make a claim about the Democratic Party, which has done awful things, and the immediate response is, but the Republicans, and I don't like Republicans.
Here's the thing. We live in a two-party system.
Correct.
Right? We can have this great grift of oh, well, the Democrats are bad, but and the Republicans, they might be worse, but the Democrats are still bad. But the option is between Democrats or Republicans.
Yes.
So if Republicans are worse, it doesn't really matter if Democrats are slightly bad.
I think Democrats are worse.
We don't love Democrats. But we feel that Republicans are way worse when they institute these far more authoritarian policies.
It's hard to quantify more. The question is, does it suppress speech? And I certainly think Donald Trump has taken actions.
Let's look at human lives. If we want to do a quantification.
Wait, what is what are the policies that Tim Pool thinks the Democratic Party has pushed for that silence or suppress free speech?
Let's look at ICE. 3 American citizens have been killed by ICE. That's way more than the number of American citizens killed by immigration enforcement under, say, Obama.
But it's way less than the amount of American citizens killed by Barack Obama.
No,
it is.
True.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Look. I don't want to be disrespectful, but one of the biggest issues to me is the extrajudicial assassination of Abdurrahman al-Awlaki by the Obama administration. And this is what, early on in my life, when I was very anti-war, very lefty, still...
What? What is he defining as Obama killed Americans? Huh? I genuinely, I don't know what he's talking about. Is he saying Obama got Americans killed in the Middle East? Is he saying that Obama personally killed all the people in Flint, Michigan? How broad are we making this definition? I would like to know, because Obama did kill a number of U.S. citizens with drone strikes. Yeah, but my point is, if we're using these numbers, how many more definitions, or how much wider of a pool can we cast on Trump? Because I don't think that would look good on Trump. If you're going to make this definition this wide, where you're saying, no, it's not Americans on American soil. We're making it Americans that are killed anywhere at any point by negligence or by intentional, by malice or with intentional desire to kill. We're going to make it this wide. I don't think he would like the numbers that Trump would have.
anti-war,
Still
and
anti-war.
voted for Barack Obama, and then he
Are
murdered
you in
us.
favor of the war in Iran?
Absolutely not. And Barack Obama killed a 16-year-old American
Okay.
citizen who was at a civilian
Again,
restaurant in Yemen.
We can play
These are
this
all
game.
bad
we
things.
can be like, oh, well, both parties are pretty bad. But like,
Indeed.
we have to, when they go to the
Indeed.
ballot office, when I go to the ballot office as a voter, I have to actually put in a vote. I have to decide Democrat or Republican or throw my vote away and vote for some third party.
Libertarian.
If I'm picking between those and there's one candidate who just brought us into a war in Iran, is causing this massive conflict, tons of human suffering, that's foreign. That's foreign policy. Domestically, we see ICE attacks on American citizens. We see 56 people dying in ICE detention camps in just
Sorry, to explain again, chat. The reason why I said what the fuck is he talking about is not the idea that Obama never did anything wrong. I think everyone in here already knows that. Not to say, what is he talking about? What? Obama killed people? No, I would, obviously, yes, obviously. He's the drone strike king, bro, of course. But if we're talking about authoritarianism, that has to be about domestic policy. So why the fuck would you be bringing up anything remotely foreign? Like, other than what? To muddy the question?
a singular year. You compare that to under Obama, the deporter-in-chief. Across
Indeed.
8 years, 52 people died. Way, way, way fewer. What we're seeing is dangerous conditions domestically. Way more people are dying, right? We have a lot of this like qualitative discussion. You bring up a lot of anecdotes, but if you actually like quantify the number of deaths that are occurring through these authoritarian mechanisms, it's very, very clear that when I vote, I'm choosing the lesser of two evils and voting Democrat.
Let's talk about a few structures of authoritarianism. We'll go with 2016. And you brought up Donald Trump subpoenaing these journalists, so
Yeah.
we'll get broad on this one. In 2016, Gizmodo published an article that Facebook had been suppressing news and information from conservative outlets. This is Gizmodo. They're a progressive outlet. In fact, I worked for the company that owned them, and I was a Bernie supporter in 2016. And so agreeing with this reporting and knowing the reporters behind it, I reported this. NBC News, all of these major institutions then claimed I was a right-wing conspiracy theorist.
Here's the thing.
Well, let me finish. For claiming that these things were happening that they reported on. Then what we learned is that under Obama,
Tim,
under Obama and under Biden, and don't get me wrong, this was under Trump as
Well, does he not? Sorry, I was going to say, does he not realize, but I understand that he's being dishonest, that framing makes all of the difference in reporting? Two journalists can cover the exact same story, and the framing of one story can be right-wing, and the framing of another story can be completely left-wing. It happens every day. You can be called right-wing for your coverage of something. Hello? Like, take the killings in Minnesota. Every single right-wing, major right-wing platform covered those by saying, stop disobeying the police. These left-wing lunatics won't stop disobeying the police. That would be right-wing coverage of that. Hello?
well. There was an active effort from the FBI. They were given a backdoor access to Twitter and Facebook to remove content that they thought objectionable to the government, and it was not done at the behest of Trump or for his benefit, but to the benefit of those who had been defending him in the press. So notably myself, who was calling out these censorship practices, I was falsely slandered and maligned by the media over this.
Thank you, yes.
These are institutions. Now, when you say that Donald Trump is mad at them, I agree, subpoenaing journalists, depending on the issue, can be bad. But to see that from Obama through Trump and into Biden, they were actively given access. This is a violation of the Fourth Amendment.
Tim,
It's
there's
a
an issue
violation of
here.
the First Amendment.
We're missing something really important. We're lumping together all of these different types of sort of suppression of speech, but there's a fundamental difference. When we see like left-leaning suppression of speech, often that happens from like a bottom up, where you see some company taking an action.
No, I
and
gave
then
you a
reducing it.
specific example of
Then-
the Biden administration going to a major big tech company, giving them specific instructions to remove people who are saying naughty
we
words.
We saw that in the context of COVID, where vaccinations was really, really important. In fact,
That's
800 lives were saved by vaccines. We have a really strong
You can give me
historical
every
precedent.
reason for why you want to be an authoritarian. They always have a reason, and
there's-
saving lives.
Wait, I'm sorry. What the fuck is he talking about with regard to Biden? He said Facebook? Is he talking about Biden trying to prevent vaccine misinfo? You mean trying to prevent people from getting themselves killed by listening to vaccine misinfo? Guys, I don't know if you know this, but stopping the spread of medical misinformation is actually authoritarianism. ICE agents killing people in the street and funding those same ICE agents and never having any accountability for those ICE agents, that's definitely not authoritarianism. Does he not recognize that Biden administration only asked social media to voluntarily pull down COVID misinfo? Hardly authoritarian? Okay.
always one of
There's a
them.
fundamental difference between suppressing free speech on, say, the war in Iran, where there's really bad stuff going on and we need to talk about it, and, say, spreading vaccine misinformation. In the U.S., we've had really long
You have a
precedent.
moral
Look at
opinion
Schneck versus
on the
United
differences of
States,
importance, and
right?
that's fine.
Clear and present danger test has
But
been
we're
well
talking
established.
about authoritarian.
Is it a thorn when the U.S. government keeps asking you to please take down vaccine misinfo so people get vaccinated? Does he think that that's authoritarianism? Indeed. Guys, the whole right side of my face just started hurting. I might get myself some frozen peas or something. I don't even know why this is happening. The ligma is spreading. It's my body rejecting Tim Pool. The vaccines integrating.
Has many different reasons. Did you think that all the tyrants of the world never gave a reason as to why they needed absolute authority? They always did. And they always do. And even today it's the case, whether it's Trump or anybody else. So when Biden's administration said, because COVID misinformation kills, we will silence you, that's authoritarianism. You can argue that you agree with it, but it still is authoritarianism. How about
That's
we
not what?
can use Cuomo in New York as an example?
Okay, sorry. Let me pull this up. 1 second. Where is it? It is definitionally not authority. When the U.S. government is attempting, even at the worst phrasing, you can say coercion, not forcing, because they didn't force them. That's why so many Americans didn't get vaccinated, because they spent all their time on fucking Facebook. And Mark Zuckerberg thought, yeah, you know what? More fear mongering. It makes people stay on our platform more. So first of all, there's that. Okay, there was no authority that ended up being exercised. Second, the preceding lawsuits, or the following lawsuits, ended up showing, or whatever word you want to use here, the U.S. is barred from combating disinfo on social media. Here's what it means. The government's ability to fight disinfo online has suffered a legal setback that experts say will have a chilling effect on communications between federal agencies and social media companies. Tuesday ruling by a federal district judge in Louisiana could have far-reaching consequences for the government's ability to work with Facebook, other social media giants to address misleading claims about COVID. The district court, who was appointed by Trump, issued a preliminary injunction on Tuesday that bars several federal governments and agencies from various interactions with social media companies. This would be the opposite of authoritarianism, when the corporations are fighting back against government coercion and winning, versus Trump, who has ignored multiple court orders with regard to ICE and their jurisdiction in any given state or city. So it is literally the opposite of what he's talking about. Also, I'm going to go get ice. Ow, my cheek.
He shut down churches in violation of the First Amendment, and when he was sued and lost, he issued a secondary executive order changing the words to keep the churches closed. That is authority. And you right now defending it is my point. I have no problem saying Trump should not go after journalists, but you seem to have a problem saying the Democratic administrations should not be doing what they're doing as well.
Okay, pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Yeah.
If you'd like to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Long distance from back.
You made it. I'm surprised you made it.
So one of the key parts about authoritarianism is influence over elections. And
Agreed.
we've seen that throughout the history of right-wing and left-wing, the right-wing side of this country has constantly been election deniers. Famously, Trump tried to find votes in Georgia to win the 2020 election. And now we're seeing that they're claiming voter fraud in the city of Los Angeles mayor's race.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How many presidential elections in the last 20 years were denied by Democrats?
Were denied by Democrats?
Yeah, by mainstream members of Congress going on the floor, rejecting it.
None.
All of them.
Do you see the Democratic Party trying to create an alternate slate of electors to actually try and overturn
that's a different
democratically
argument.
elected?
Certainly a different argument. But
After George W. Bush's victory in 2000, Al Gore pursued Florida recount litigation and conceded 36 days after Election Day. On December 13, when Supreme Court halted the count in 2005, Senator Barbara Boxer and Representative Stephanie Tubbs Jones made a formal objection to Ohio's electoral votes over alleged irregularities, which both chambers rejected after John Kerry had conceded. Okay, Hillary Clinton, Jimmy Carter, John Lewis, and other Democrats.
no, that was in, I think that would have been 1960, but certainly not in the last 20 years.
Pursuing a recount isn't legal, though? Did you mean is legal? Yeah, I was like, wait, what? Pursuing a recount is legal. No one had an issue with Trump requesting recounts. People had an issue with Trump calling, it was in Georgia. Oh my God, I'm like blanking on his name and his position. And being like, we need to find, Brian Kemp, thank you. Governor Brian Kemp and saying, like, we need to find, was it 11,000 votes? I need you to find me. I need you to find me 11,000 votes. I just need 11,034 votes. I just need you to find them. Just find them for me. Just find the votes for me. Asking for a recount is fine. What? Especially when it comes, especially in the instance of with Al Gore, where it was literally the oh my God, what the fuck are they called? Hanging chats. There we go. Thank you. When what was the vote count? It was by a margin of 500 votes. I believe, or no, wait, maybe not, wait. No, it was by a margin of 500. When it's by a margin of 500 votes, asking for a recount is reasonable. That's actually very reasonable, as a matter of fact.
So we can completely agree Trump's efforts in 2020 were substantially different from, say, a handful of members of Congress and high-profile.
To try and compare that to this is insane to me.
It's just not possible to have lost Georgia. It's not possible. When I heard it was close, I said, there's no way.
Oh, he was talking to the Republican Secretary of State, not Brian Kemp. He was talking to Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger.
Hey, but they dropped a lot of votes in there late at night. You know that, Brad. And that's what we are working on very, very stringently. But regardless of those votes, with all of it being said, we lost by essentially 11,000 votes, and we have many more votes already calculated and certified to. So I just don't know, Mark, I don't know what's the purpose. I won't give Dominion a pass because we found too many bad things, but we don't need Dominion or anything else. We have won this election in Georgia based on all of this. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, Brad. I mean, having a correct, the people of Georgia are angry. And these numbers are going to be repeated on Monday night, along with others that we're going to have by that time, which are much more substantial even. And the people of Georgia are angry. The people of the country are angry. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, that you've recalculated, because the 2,236 and absentee ballots, I mean, they're all exact numbers that were done by accounting firms, law firms, etc. And even if you cut them in half, and cut them in half again, it's more votes than we need.
Well, Mr. President, the challenge that you have is the data you have is wrong.
He said you're wrong, Omega Lol. There's nothing wrong with recounting them. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with saying you were incorrect. And well, the problem, Mr. President, is that you're literally wrong. You're the one who is literally wrong. Why the peas? Because I'm sick and I'm in pain. The peas helped a lot, actually, guys. It went from like actually piercing pain to like dull pain. So we're doing okay.
Personalities coming out and saying the election is illegitimate. But I will say, while it is not particularly mainstream, there actively are groups.
Trump won, you lost. Listen, man. I don't know if you know this, but you're losing too every time you go to the fucking gas pump, dumbass. Why is it that all Republicans are like this? They're like the boat sinking meme. I don't know if anyone has seen the one that I've shown you, or that exists. Why is it that they're all like this? What are you doing? Sinking your libtard boat. We're both on the boat, you idiot. Lol, you're so triggered right now. Go cry about it. You have boat derangement syndrome. It's just a joke. It's like, hey, dumbass, you're on the ride too, idiot. I don't know if you know this. You still have to go get groceries and gas, bitch. Like, you just made your own life worse. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Across social media that believe the election was stolen, just go on Threads for a few minutes.
God, Threads.
You will see tons of progressives arguing the election was stolen.
Tons of bots. I'm really big believer in the dead internet theory.
Fine. I agree with the internet theory, actually.
So look, if you're talking about the right versus the left, overall, again, we are talking about the overall picture here. Where is the majority of this coming from?
Well, let me ask you a question. You mentioned California. I want to ask you a question. Let's say there's an election that takes place, and a ballot comes in 3 days after that election. It's signed with a picture of Mickey Mouse, and it's hand dated. Do you think that is a real vote?
So guess what? In California, when you don't have a correct signature, you can do this thing called ballot hearing, where you take that ballot back to the voter and you say, is this really you? And you have to get that signature again.
But
it's actually the reason why California voting, like the voting process in California takes so long. It's because of like the numerous checks that we have, specifically when it comes to ballot signatures. So it's always bizarre whenever Republicans and conservatives and apolitical people talk about secure voting. Meanwhile, one of the bluest states has one of the most secure elections. But okay.
I don't think they registered with the Mickey Mouse signature.
Well, that's actually legal in California. In fact, the example given, I think, in Santa Barbara is a Kirby star image. Now, the challenge with this is, and that's why I'm not a fan of the fraud.
Santa Barbara Mickey Mouse signature claim traces to a rhetorical comment by a local Republican official about an in-person polling place sign-in sheet, not evidence that a ballot with a cartoon signature was accepted. The name Santa Barbara GOP review ultimately found no voter fraud. I'm not going to lie, guys. I've never seen someone get their ass so beat by fact-checking. Because Dave Rubin didn't make like an argument, so the fact-checking couldn't do anything against him, because he'd be like, well, listen here. I don't think that. I think we all need to hold hands together. Well, listen here. Listen. I think, it's about the vibes. And the vibe is that the Democrats are bad. It's like, what's the fact check there? What the fuck is Jubilee supposed to put? Vibe is not data. Your vibe is not we don't work on vibes. We work on data. So he didn't say, indeed, Dave Rubin kind of didn't say anything that could be factually disproved because he didn't make any statements of fact. He kind of just went based off of vibes the whole time. It's the same. It's like, it's not the same thing. It's the complete opposite with Tim Pool, where Tim Pool keeps trying to say things that are factual and just keeps saying things that are completely non-factual.
Argument from Republicans. Just stop saying fraud. This is legal in California. In
Legal.
California, you
Legal
can draw
squash.
a picture of Kirby Star in any manifestation. Now, the problem is signatures are supposed to be unique to an individual because they would be falsifiable. Meaning,
I have to pee so bad. I'm just going to go pee really fast. Also, does he know that you can have any signature that you want? Just really quickly. It's just that the signature needs to match your signature. You can have, if anyone here doesn't know this, you can have any signature. If you wanted a Kirby star or whatever as your signature, that's fine. It just has to be the case that that's your signature across the board. What? I don't even know what the fuck he like.
Seen your signature before, how can I match it? But if you sign up, if register to vote with a picture of Kirby, anyone in the world can draw that picture of Kirby. So in California, the challenge that
but
I
not
see,
everybody has the same name, the same social security.
No, but the point is, if a ballot is received by a homeless shelter, anyone can fill it out and draw a picture of Kirby Star.
There's a limited number of ballots that get sent to registered voters who are registered with the state.
Well, it's
and go through a
universal mail-in
process.
voting. And for instance, there was a homeless shelter in Venice Beach that received 185 mail-in votes despite no one living there. And so,
yes, because
again,
people that live on the street have addresses registered to shelters because they don't have anywhere else to get mail.
And so what we've already seen is undercover video showing that activists do go to places like Skid Row and secure voter registration, where in one video, a man who's clearly not a woman says his name is Teresa, sure, he'll fill it out. Now, the problem is that man will fill this out under the name Teresa. He will sign, he'll put an X, a mark, which is legal in California. The other issue is that ballots can be received. So it gets complicated, but in California, if a ballot is received before the election, it can be hand dated.
I'm sorry.
If it's
was
received
there,
after the election.
Wait. Was there a fact check on this stupid thing?
The other issue is that ballots can be received. So it gets complicated, but in California, if a ballot is received before the election, it can be hand dated. If it's received after the election, it has to be post dated. However, a ballot can only be rejected if two independent officials can prove beyond a reasonable doubt it has violated one of these tenets. So I do take issue with Republicans saying voter fraud all the time when it's legal to do this in California. But I think if you go to a regular American and say, you ask him this question, and I'll ask you this question: how did Nithya Raman surpass?
Is he joking? Genuinely, does he think people are going to homeless shelters and picking up all the mail-in ballots? Is he joking?
Karen Bass, both Democrats in mail-in votes only after Election Day.
Because young people vote later, and Nithya Raman won the young vote.
Well, the truth is that the DS
Los Angeles chapter of Democratic Socialists of America publishes a how-to ballot delivery guide that instructs volunteers to collect sealed, completed vote by mail ballots and return them through DSA LA canvas leads. The mail or off ballot drop boxes. Critics call this ballot harvesting. The more neutral third-party term is third-party ballot collection or ballot delivery, in which a voter authorizes someone else to return a completed ballot. Does he know that, like, you as a voter, you don't need to give it to one of these like 2,000 mules or whatever? I don't understand what the problem is. Like, then do you think people would give their ballot to someone that they don't think would deliver it? What? I don't even understand the argument that he's making. It's just not fair because leftists are so beautiful and smart and funny. So of course I trust them with my life. And then of course they betray me. Just like all the women I've ever talked to betray me. It's like, what argument are you making? Yes, you can give your ballot to someone else for the purpose of collection and delivery if you don't have the ability or desire to personally go to the drop box. What?
Say on their website advocates for ballot harvesting, which is legal, and they're allowed to do it, and more power to them. It's very smart.
So do the Republicans. They go to senior centers all across the country and get
Okay, we're going to
Republican
pause
votes.
here. You've been voted out by the majority. You can head
Good
back
talking
to
with
your
you.
seat.
Also, what does this have to do with authoritarianism?
If you'd like to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
No contest. Likewise.
Elections, as you were talking about the other person before, I think are sacred. I think elections are sacred, and I believe that they are the most fundamental thing to American values and democracy. We have never seen, ever in American history, the attempt to subvert a free and fair election compared to how Donald Trump and his cronies did on January 6th. And I think that it's absolutely ridiculous to claim that that is somehow comparable to the Biden administration talking to Facebook and certain social media platforms to ban Donald Trump, when social media platforms have been under attack by Donald Trump as well. We had in Florida how the right now chair of the RNC is now pursuing.
Sorry, dude, I can't with liberals.
I believe that voting is the most secret thing ever.
Legal action against Facebook, Twitter, etc., for banning Donald Trump, which was a decision that they made without Biden's interference.
Well, I don't think arguing like a civil litigation is it's hard to argue civil litigation as a big political issue. If there's a contract violation committed by a company and Trump wants to sue them, certainly if you have the opinion, you don't believe that you believe there's malice there.
It's the current RNC chair.
Right.
That's
My
like
argument is
pursuing like regulatory action against them for banning Donald Trump.
Right. So these are civil issues, and the challenge is, I don't know the facts. You don't know the facts.
You don't think civil issues can be political?
They certainly can. But the point I'm making is that sometimes companies do bad things, and we need regulatory bodies to go after them. I'm in favor of that. Now, the question is, are the Republicans bad for doing it? Honestly, I don't know, because I don't know the underlying issues of the case. Maybe they are, maybe they're not.
So I'll bring up another.
Isn't that so amazing that, like, anytime the Republicans do stuff, it's like, I don't know if this one is bad. I don't know. Maybe when this time, I don't know. Biden was literally the biggest authoritarian dictator in the world when he asked Facebook to take down their anti-vax conspiracy theories. He was literally doing full Mussolini, what does Aiden Ross say? Benito Mussolini, anti-analytist. He was doing that the whole time when he was like, hey, you guys really should take this down. You really should take this down. This is going to get millions of people killed. Aiden Ross. Fascism.
What does a fascist mean? It means you are a far right authorization ultranalytic. Oh my God, ultra analyst, political ideology movement characterized by dictator leadership, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition. So I don't know what that means, bro. I swear to God. I don't know what the fuck a fascism is. I don't know what the fuck that is. Benito Mussolini and Giviante Genitile.
Benito Mussolini.
And Jason Stanley. Like, who the fuck are these people, bro? Never heard in my fucking life. What is an example of a fascist? Yo!
The one that sends me every time is ultra analytist. How do you get that from that word? How do you see ultra nationalist and get ultra analytist? Because listen, I get it. Like, some words in English are not pronounced the way that they look because English is a bullshit language. Okay? There are lots of English words that make no fucking sense, that are complete bullshit. But ultra nationalist is one of the few words that looks exactly the way it sounds. It's ultra nationalist. Now, admittedly, if he had said ultra nationalist, I would have given him that one as well, because nation and national are pronounced differently. I would have been like, you know what, ultra nationalist, whatever, that's fine. But ultra nationalist is like that one. You can sound that out, you know? There are some words in English that are just, you can't sound them out. Imagine seeing the word foreigner for the first time ever. Listen, I get it. I'm a reasonable person. But like ultra nationalist is like, that one it's spelled exactly how it looks. Like, I don't understand. Night, sure. Night is another one, sure. That when the K's are randomly silent, when the G's are randomly silent, I understand. I'm willing to be understanding. But some of these are like, you can just chunk them. Some of these have prefixes and suffixes that we use all the time, and they sound exactly the same every single time. Maybe he's dyslexic, but dyslexia doesn't explain why he doesn't even know who
Benito Mussolini and
why he doesn't know who Benito Mussolini is. Like, I feel like everyone knows Mussolini. Maybe you don't know everything about Mussolini, but I feel like everyone should know Mussolini's name. I don't even remember a time when I didn't know Mussolini. You don't have to be super familiar with Mussolini to know Mussolini. That maybe I'm mistaken, but that feels like it's up there with like knowing who Stalin is. Like you just know. Like if you go through public school, you learn about those people. I don't think those are. I don't. That's not a dyslexia. It's not a dyslexia problem to not know who Mussolini is, unless I'm mistaken about what dyslexia means. But I was pretty sure that being dyslexic doesn't mean you don't know who Mussolini is. I think that might be different. I think it might be different. Respectfully.
I mean, in Massachusetts, for example.
Wait, why did I bring that up?
I'm in favor of that. Now, the question is, are the Republicans bad for doing it? Honestly, I don't know because I don't know the
I don't know if Republicans are bad when they do it or Italian they don't.
But when Biden does it, he is literally Benito Mussolini.
underlying issues of the case. Maybe they are, maybe they're not.
So I'll bring up another instance. I mean, in Massachusetts, for example, we just had 2 Republicans who were running for attorney general and lieutenant governor who were literally faking signatures on their ballots.
Lock 'em up.
Literal dead people.
Yeah, lock 'em
who,
up.
And if you look at the papers, they're the same signature down the ballot.
Yeah.
It's the same person, this third party that they hired, who was literally had the same exact handwriting. And they tried, like,
yeah, lock them up.
thousands of signatures across Massachusetts.
Oh, it's so it's so liberal. Oh, he's so liberal. I just want everyone to know I'm using that word as a slur. If Twitch bans me for using liberal as a slur, and I'm throwing in the hard R, liberal, okay, but like, why are you fighting this point? Why are you still being like,
And this is so bad because how could he do this? How could he do this? Man, this Republican did this.
It's like, what are we doing here, man? Get back on this.
Were then considered moot because they were literal dead people from all across the state. And those are 2 Republicans.
Right.
And you have, I mean, there are countless instances of Republicans, not just Donald Trump, trying to subvert American elections. And I think that is one of the most authoritarian things that anybody in this country can do, is to subvert
completely.
the free and fair elections of the United States.
I think certainly that we have a problem with 2 ancient political parties. I think the real big picture is here, and I'm not saying this to dismiss your anger over what these Republicans did. You're certainly warranted to believe that. I agree. I think they should go to jail for that stuff. The problem is both political parties are playing this procedural game of trying to steal elections through through procedure instead of convincing people. The Republicans are redistricting in all of these different states to give themselves.
January 6th was procedure.
I'm talking right now about both parties. Yeah, certainly January 6th was a riot, and it was very, very bad. Yeah. We can agree on those things. I'm saying that both parties have these procedural efforts to increase their ability to win elections. Right now, Republicans are redistricting
I fundamentally disagree with that.
Because wait, can you describe the procedural efforts by Democrats to control elections?
Republicans were the ones that voted against a bill to ban gerrymandering federally in the United States. Republicans were the ones that continuously...
Dude, this is so out of... Who needs haters when you got chatters like this? Bro has gray hairs in his beard and he's still wearing a fucking beanie. He's worn the same shirt for 15 years, just like Denims. What did I do to you? I come here on my sick day when I am in such excruciating pain from laughing too hard to the point where For the first time ever in my streaming history, I brought literally a bag of frozen peas to help soothe my pain. And you come here and you call me one shirt Denims. And this is a new shirt.
Deny the fact that Joe Biden won the 2020 election free and fair. Democrats have not once, and they have been very consistent on this, on protecting American elections. It's
Also, that's totally a good point, by the way. Just end it with, and you know how we know this? Because they got caught and the votes were invalidated because the process works. Well, Republicans love to talk about like common sense politics and common sense, except when common sense doesn't make any sense to them or it doesn't help their political positions or help further their agenda. So like, I think the best example of this, although it also applies here as well, is being trans. It is completely nonsensical to alienate your entire family, in some instances, your friends, to potentially lose your job. God forbid you are married with children, alienating your immediate chosen family as well. Potentially going through the process of being invalidated by a variety of doctors, having to pay an exorbitant amount of money to seek any type of treatment, and then having to be in this awkward phase of transitioning, but maybe not perfectly passing. And my understanding is that a lot of trans people who do detransition, a big part of the desire to detransition comes from this awkward phase where it's like the equivalent of like shaving your hair and then, or like getting like a short cut and then you have this awkward haircut in the middle where you're like, it looks so shit. That's the one reason why I feel like I can never cut my hair too short, because I know when it gets to the awkward phase, it's going to piss me off so bad. I'm going to be so tempted to cut it again. So like, I think between all of the social pressure and also just like your personal feelings and everything, because I can't imagine it's a very particularly pleasurable experience to consistently get misgendered while you're in the process of trying to transition publicly. So there's so much torment you must suffer, or that so many trans people suffer, and they're doing it for fun. Like the conservatives in this country are so dumb that they're like, they must be doing it for fun and attention. It's like, I see that and I see someone who is actually trans. I don't need to know anything else about trans people. I don't need to have read a single paper, although I have, to be like, yeah, you would only go through all of this headache if you really felt this way. This must be something that is very core to yourself as a, like, you as a person, to like your soul, to go through all of this heartache and all of this headache. It must be actually genuinely your truth. Because I can't imagine, I would never choose to do and deal with all of that for fun. Why the fuck would I ever do that? Oh my God. It takes unimaginable strength and determination to willingly choose to become society's most hated boogeyman at the moment. Like, it's just not, it's so obviously, it should be the common sense position that this has to be something that is real. That if this many people feel this way and have felt this way for forever, then I don't know. I think it's just common sense to be like, okay, I guess it must be real. Because I know that I would never do that for fun or for attention. That's way too much effort and work and just like torment for no reason. What the hell? And then conservatives will look you straight in the eye and be like, no, it's fake. It's like, okay, dude. Oh my God. You're an idiot. Like, what? You're a fucking idiot. And it's the same thing with the voter fraud. It's like, no, the voter fraud is widespread. There's thousands of mules. They're all over the place. Trump's own DOJ shows that it's the most secure election. They can't procure more than like a smidge of instances of voter fraud. And generally speaking, the voter fraud tends to be from Republicans. And the punishment for committing voter fraud is like, I don't remember what the minimum penalty, but like, I know the maximum penalty is a couple years in fucking jail. I'm sorry. I'm not sitting in a fucking jail cell for any number of minutes so that my candidate can win by like 1 vote, 2 votes. It's not worth it. That's literally not worth it. Maybe they should run a better fucking campaign for once so that I wouldn't have to do that. I'm not going to go to jail for Kamala Harris. Are you crazy? Or are you insane? So it's also just like, this is another instance of like, this should be common sense That there's no way that someone would do that. Like, that's, and the people who do are fucking insane. That's why it's so rare that it happens, because nobody's gonna go to fucking jail to throw in 1, 2, 3 extra votes. Like, I know Denims, classic. I'll go to jail for Zoran though. But my point is, but the point is that the type of people that you would want to do that for don't need you to do that, because they're so liked that people will vote for them anyways. So if the candidate just ran a good campaign, you wouldn't need to do that. The only time you would need to do that is when the campaign fucking sucks, in which case you shouldn't even be doing that, because the campaign sucks, because the candidate sucks.
Our name.
Democrats in
democracy.
2016 accused Donald Trump and his associates of being Russian assets and trying to steal the election at the behest of a foreign adversary, going so far to accuse the President of the United States of treason. There was a multi-year investigation that cost tens of millions of dollars that ended up being nothing. That's election denial. Now, I don't think that's as bad as a bunch of people storming the Capitol. That's terrifying and substantially worse, physical violence. But yeah, I think if you look back at the history of this country going back decades...
Timmy Tim. I don't think anyone should be talking about Russian interference. Okay? Between me and you, I just don't think you're the right person to deliver that message. Mr. Ukraine is the enemy of the West.
It would be a bit naive